Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm here with Sebastian, who is a finance manager for an architecture consultancy. Ooh, good job, Sebastian. I'm also here with Lily, a forklift truck driver. So, Sebastian, do you earn a lot of money?
Oh, why, yes, Georgia, I do.
And do you have a fancy house?
Oh, yes, I have a very fancy house, fancy car, and beautiful wife, 2 charming children, both privately educated, of course, as I was. Life is good and plentiful.
What do you think is the secret to your success?
Hard work.
How long did it take you to achieve the pinnacle of your success?
Oh, I'm not at the pinnacle yet. There's always more to get.
How long did it take you to achieve the pinnacle of success?
I was 21 years old.
What happened?
I got a job.
What could people do to be more like you?
If you don't have a job, get a job. If you don't have a house, get a house. If you don't have money, get money.
Is it really that simple?
Why, yes. I mean, we both have the same 24 hours in a day, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Lily, over to you, a forklift truck driver. Do you earn a lot of money?
No.
Do you have a fancy house?
No.
Children?
Yes,
And
too.
did they go to the local comp?
Yes, which is lovely. Can I just say,
Not really, no.
we might all have the same 24 hours in a day, but I don't think we have the same opportunities or start in life or connections.
Interesting.
Because of where I grew up and my family circumstances, I wasn't able to.
Margaret.
We are struggling. Bills are going up, and I wanted to go to university to become a doctor, but I wasn't able to as my mum was ill and I had to look after her.
Aw, that must have been hard for you to give up on your dreams like that. Well, back to you in the studio, Margaret.
Yeah, I thought.
If you've got blackberries growing over the side of your garden, who do they belong to?
Dunno. You?
Okay.
Them?
Oh.
Now Harry, he had long suspected this trespass of old Goody Blake, and vowed that she should be detected, and he on her would vengeance take.
And off from his warm fire he'd go, and to his fields his road would take, and there at night in frost or snow he watched to see his old Goody Blake.
And once, behind a rick of barley, thus looking out did Harry stand. The moon was full, and shining clearly, and crisp with frost and stubble land. He hears a noise.
He's all awake.
Again?
On tiptoe down the hill he softly creeps.
"'Tis Goody Blake!"
She's at the hedge of Harry Gill!
I think that new neighbours has taken some of our blackberries.
What, from our garden?
Nah, mostly on his side. But they're our blackberries.
Yeah, exactly. We should stop him.
I will. Next time I see him, I will.
Right glad he was when he beheld her.
Stick after stick did Goody pull,
He stood behind a bush of elder, till she had filled her apron full.
when with her load she turned about, the byway back again to take. He started forwards with a shout,
And sprang upon poor Goody Blake. And fiercely by the arm he took her,
and by the arm he held her fast.
and fiercely by the arm he shook her, and cried,
I've got you then at last!
Then Goody, who had nothing said, her bundle on her lap let fall, and kneeling on the stick she prayed to God that is the judge of all.
She prayed her withered hand uprearing, whilst Harry held her by the arm.
God, who art never out of hearing, oh may he never more be warm.
Old cold moon above her head, lost on his knees. 'Tis Goody Blake.
Young Harry heard what she had said, and icy cold he turned away.
He went complaining all the morrow.
He was cold and very chill.
His face was gloom, his heart was sorrow.
Alas, that day for Harry Gill.
That day he wore a riding coat,
But not to wit the woman he.
Another was on Thursday bought, and ere the Sabbath he had free.
'twas all in vain, a useless matter, and blankets were about him pinned.
Yet still his teeth and jaws would clatter.
like a loose casement in the wind.
In Harry's flesh it fell away.
All
seen him safe his plain.
That live as long as live he may. He never will be warm again.
Hi, I'm Harvey. I've just moved in next door.
Steve.
Alex.
I hope you don't mind. I've collected some of the blackberries that are on my side of the garden.
Yeah, we'd noticed.
They are actually our blackberries.
Even though they're on your side of the garden, legally they belong to us.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure. So I made a pie. I was wondering if you would like to come round and help me eat it.
Oh, right. That's very nice. Thank you.
Though I actually don't really like blackberries.
Oh, I'm sure I have something else.
No word to any man he utters,
A bed or up.
to young or old.
But ever to himself he mutters.
Harry Gill is very cold.
Eating.
Eating,
Inequality.
Trespass.
Owner.
There.
revenge,
Compassion. Community.
A bed or up.
by night or day.
His teeth, they chatter still.
So think ye found us all, I pray.
Of Goody Blake and Harry Gill.
Justice!
You didn't kind of start off with a prepared script for this project, did you?
Well, first we got the poem and we read through it and we looked through stuff, make sure we understood everything, and then we sort of went through things and we got a big list of heaps of words we could get from the script, like heating and eating and inequality and stuff like that, which we used in our script that we made later.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we got some of the pictures as well before we started getting the poem, and we had to kind of guess what it was about and act out the pictures and fit them together into a story.
And then what sort of scenes kind of emerged out of that in terms of making modern day things to sit alongside the poem?
The first one scene that we developed was the one with Sebastian and Lily, where two people kind of improvised and someone wrote down everything on the laptop and then that was edited.
And what part of the poem, it's written a couple of hundred years ago, so what was it within the poem that you thought kind of particularly chimed with things in the world today?
So the last word that we added on, so it started and ended with different words to do with the poem, so sort of themes. And one of them was justice. And at the end, everybody is very definite about that. And my character's not quite as sure about whether it was true justice. And I think it was interesting to look at how much people should be punished, or whether in fact they should be helped to understand society before they're punished.
Did working on this project kind of change your view or your feeling about Wordsworth?
It didn't really change my feeling about Wordsworth, but it changed a lot about personal views and how you should see the world and how other people see the world.
Did reading and performing the work sort of change how you thought about things in your life and in the world?
Well, I knew these issues such as inequality and land ownership. I've read about them and I knew they were big issues currently, but it was interesting to see how the same issues have been prevalent in society for many, many years, and it's not a modern problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Mixing in scenes from the poem and then the contemporary ones that you devised between you, how did you feel that worked?
I think it's quite interesting in breaking the rhyme scheme with the modern scenes, because often if you can get lost as an audience in a rhyme scheme and in a particular metre, but having the modern scenes brings them out of it and makes the audience think more about what we're trying to show them.
What did you enjoy about Wordsworth's writing itself?
I really liked that Wordsworth focused on people that weren't of higher classes. They were just ordinary people.
I think you get a mix in Wordsworth poems and Dorothy Wordsworth's journals, where some of it is sort of celebrating Cumbria and the beauty of Cumbria, and some of it's a good reflection of society, and it can be used as a first-person source for what people thought of society at the time, and how it impacted people, especially in the local area.
I'd like to be a Bush Junior.
Right, we'll do a couple of run-throughs.